Hey guys, it's Carrie Rhinehart from 5 Minute Math. Today I'm going to look at multi-step equations. If you're following along in the book, it's Algebra 1 Unit 2 and we are in Lesson 2. So when you're solving multi-step equations, you have to do two or more operations to get the variable, which is the letter, by itself on one side. Just remember what you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. And also, to move back and forth, you've got to do the opposite operation. So if it's a plus 2 on one side, to move it to the other side, you have to subtract it from both sides. And another thing is when you have to do more than one operations, you want to go in reverse order of operations. So normally we do parentheses first, then exponents, etc. But when you're moving from one side to the other, you deal with addition and subtraction first. Then you deal with multiplication and division. Then you deal with exponents, and then you deal with parentheses or grouping. Okay, so let's look at an example. If I have 3x minus 1 equals 10, and again, I think it's a good idea to draw a vertical line, and sometimes even a different color helps, through the equal sign. And just remember, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I've got the x over here, but there's two things that I need to get rid of. I need to get rid of this 3, and I need to get rid of, let me do a different color. I need to get rid of this minus 1. So it's 3 times x, and then it's minus 1. And we need to go in reverse order of operations, so that means I need to do addition and subtraction first. So I need to deal with that minus 1 first. So to get it to the other side, to make it cancel out, I need to do the opposite. So the opposite of minus 1 would be to add 1, but what you do to one side, you must do to the other. Okay. And the whole point here is that the negative 1 and the plus 1 cancel out. I can bring down that 3x that's still left here on the left side, equals, and then 10 plus 1 is 11. I still need to deal with that 3, and that is 3 times x. So I need to do the opposite operation, which is to divide by the 3, because we're trying to get x by itself. So we need to get rid of all the other values that are with x. But what you do to one side, you've got to do to the other. The whole point here is that those 3's cancel, and we're left with just x on this side equals 11 divided by 3 is not a whole number, so you can leave it as 11/3 because it doesn't reduce, or you can change it to a decimal. I prefer to leave it as an improper fraction. It makes it easier when you go back and check. So do make sure you go back and check that. For time's sake, I'm going to do another example, but you would want to go back to the original and plug that in and make sure it's correct. All right, so let me look at another one. I've got 15 equals y over 3 plus 1. I'm going to draw my vertical line through the equal sign, and I see that I have a 3 on the side of the y and a 1. Well, that's y divided by 3, and that's plus 1. So I need to deal with the plus 1 first because it's addition and subtraction. So to get rid of it, I'm going to subtract it, do the opposite. So minus 1 to both sides. And again, the whole point here is that those cancel out. So I've got 15 equals y divided by 3. Now I need to get rid of that 3. So I need to do the opposite operation, which would be to multiply by 3. So you can put a times, you can just write it out to the side, but do understand this is like 3 over 1. It's not 3 in the denominator, because that cancels those 3's over here. On the left side, I got 3 times 15, which is 45. And since the 3's canceled on the right side, I just have y, and we're done. Y equals 45. And again, you'd want to go back and check.